Hello, Veritas Academy. So this is a little late. We always take time to introduce our new faculty to you. And this year we're doing it after the school year started, partly because we brought Mr. Kunkle on within a week to go in the school year. And that was not intentional. I've apologized to Mr. Kunkle several times for that. But it's the way the hiring process worked after Mrs. Martin, who's been a beloved Spanish teacher and service director here for years and years, I believe 18 was the number, had stepped down. We went to a midsummer search, and it was tough and touch and go for a bit. And then we got some pretty amazing candidates. So I'm very excited to welcome to our school. Many of you all already know, and your students would know, Mr. Dean Kunkle. So welcome, Mr. Kunkle.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
It's good to be here.
So you are not new to teaching Spanish.
I am not. No, I started teaching Spanish 31 years ago in the public school system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you've been introduced to classical school, you're starting to see some of the bridge gaps going from something like CV and public school here. What are some of the things sticking out at you as some of the key differences you noticed in the two educational environments?
Some of the key differences I notice are it's a faster pace here at Veritas Academy in a good way. Seem to accomplish a lot more. Students are hardworking, I've noticed, do their homework. That's a tremendous help as a teacher when students do their part in their learning.
Necessary part of the education process.
Yes.
Yeah. So now that you're kind of here and seeing the classical school model, language is I'd say different in some regards because it needs to take place in a linear fashion. You're teaching language very similar to you would. But given the environment and the classical school environment, now that you've seen it, what's appealing to you? What do you kind of like about being with us here at Veritas?
I very much like the emphasis on reading. Reading books and not using so much technology. I believe it's important to use technology when it can be helpful, but not let it become the driving factor in learning. And the fact that we do a lot of face-to-face interaction and not so much with technology.
Right. It makes us kind of quirky and weird to a lot of people.
In a good way. A very good way.
Weird in a good way.
Yes.
It's something we have visitors sometimes in public schools and they're like, so where's everybody's tablets? And we don't do that. They're kind of deer in the headlights because there is some usefulness in having them, right? There's some effectiveness, but I think we found that something about the paper, the book, the writing, the eye-to-eye contact is a little different. Do we lose something in effectiveness by not having those kind of technological advantages and tools, or is that something you feel is?
I'm not sure. Sometimes I think technology can be helpful for extra practice, particularly listening comprehension, so that you get to hear different voices, different accents. But I firmly believe that part of the learning process, at least in language, is actually writing, taking notes. That's part of the whole processing and acquiring a language.
Interesting.
Use all the senses.
That's interesting. You say note-taking because I say as a history professor, you say, well, can't they just look it up? And but when you write it, you're doing something else, right? You're putting on paper, and you guys do, and I think you and Mrs. Spatola and maybe Miss Martin a little bit have started to use some more technology in the evenings or when students are going online to do. Maybe talk us through some of those decisions. Why do you find that to be helpful? Things like Duolingo.
Yes, one of the biggest challenges of a language teacher is to get them to interact with people who are not the teacher. Number of times students will do well when they're interacting with the teacher, classmates, but as soon as a different voice or a different person interacts with them, they're like a deer in the headlights, and it just broadens their horizons. They just get to hear a man's voice, a woman's voice, a child's voice.
Interesting.
And it also has the element where they can speak, and it will help for accuracy and accent.
Right, rather than just maybe homework being pen and paper, which is wonderful. There's other elements to add to it also. Now, your experience of Spanish is not only in the educational environment. So you've also spent a fair amount of time in Latin America, traveling. These usually mission trips. What typically get a chance to do?
I spent my junior year of college at the University of Seville in Spain, where I studied German, Spanish, and Italian. And I did a missions trip with church to Guatemala. I did one to Paraguay, one to Uruguay. And I also taught English at a Mennonite high school in the Chaco of Paraguay for my master's practicum. I did that for a month.
Wow. So Spanish for you is very much not just a language to learn. There's a cultures to engage in and people to get to know. How does that filter back into your teaching now that you've had these wonderful experiences? in other cultures?
When I travel, I like to take lots of pictures, and I like to show pictures. I haven't done that yet here at Veritas Academy.
That's coming.
But
that's coming.
yeah, so that they can see that this is language is a real living thing. It's just not something we do in a book, and it can be very helpful in interacting. I say it doesn't matter what language you learn, you never know when it will come in handy. I have one example. I was traveling in Israel, in Bethlehem, and I was with an Arabic-speaking friend, and he was my lifeline because we had German as our common language. And I was totally dependent on him until one time we went to this family, came out, and the father spoke fluent Spanish. I'm like, why is this? And he said, I was born in Honduras, and I lived my first 50 years of life there, and we just retired back to Israel.
Wow.
And so, like, who would think that Spanish would be the common language in Israel? But so I say it doesn't matter what language you learn, just learn it well and run with it and make connections wherever you can.
Well, that's great, because I think some students, they feel like it's just a hoop to jump through. Like, oh,
exactly, yeah.
I have to just learn a language. I can't graduate without it. It's sort of like I got to take math. But it's bigger than that. It's more important than that. What encouragement do you give students when they say, do I have to really learn Spanish or whatever language you're teaching?
Yeah, I just say it makes your brain work in a different way. And it's one of those skills that allows you to communicate with people. Even if you do not like to talk, you can still watch a movie in Spanish or Italian. I mean, the Spanish-speaking world, Italy, have great movie industries. Or if you just want to watch a news or a documentary just from a different point of view, you can do that in the native language. Or if you want to read a classic in the original language, you can do that. Yeah,
and I think some people think sometimes language is just a way of getting words said differently, but it's not. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of perceiving the world sometimes. That once you've learned that, you now have that ability and gift to see things in those dimensions. So give us a little window into Mr. Dean Kunkle as well. So you don't teach Spanish all the time, do you?
I don't.
There must be some hobbies or things you enjoy.
There are some hobbies, although I do like language. I'm currently working on Portuguese and Hebrew on the side. On Monday, Monday, September 15th, I leave for Portugal. I'll be doing a 2-week hike on the way of St. James, the Camino de Santiago. I am married. My wife, Felixa, is from Honduras. That's another Spanish connection, although we did meet here in the States.
Is that right?
We didn't meet in Honduras. We have a son, Ben, who's 14. He's an 8th grader at Lancaster Mennonite School.
Okay.
And we attend Millersville Mennonite Church, where we've been since we're married. And we live in Lancaster City, near Franklin and Marshall College.
Gotcha. So like to travel?
I do. And gardening. My way of relaxation is playing in the dirt. So I like to grow things and give it away. So
vegetables typically, or flowers?
Vegetables, flowers, berries, anything I can grow. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm very excited to have someone of your experience working with our students and helping lead and guide them. And I appreciate your heart that this is a matter of students growing in maturity and wisdom and cultural awareness and being able to bring their faith into other places and learn from other places as well. Yeah, very excited. Well, thank you for being with us. And if you see Mr. Kunkle around, please say hello.